Excited. All right. Thursday. We call it attention to detail. So we had details out there today. So what details would you like to talk about today? Anybody? Going once, going twice.
3 times sold.
You got it.
How's Omar doing? Is he all expected?
Yeah, he'll be in the rotation. Yep. Practiced well this week, and but he can't handle the volume that would be required. So we feel really good about the work Witt's done. So he'll be in the rotation as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, in this case, like Omar maybe isn't full go in that regard, but like how?
Well, I would say he's 100%. Okay. He's 100%. But when you're talking about player load, to go from not playing in 2 weeks and then giving him, look, it's a fast tempo offense. You're really talking about quality reps, and he's going to fatigue, and so it just makes sense that we're on top of that and. Be really careful that we integrate him back in the game in the right manner.
How do you then go about sort of integrating him back in and using Witt and kind of just that whole dynamic with 3 guys who you seem to probably feel really good about right now?
Yeah, I think each each series we get a better feel for what their game plan is and see how they want to attack us, and then. We'll make our adjustments relative to the personnel that we want in the game. If it becomes much more of a spread game where they want to try to get us out of the box, we'll make what we consider to be the appropriate personnel adjustments.
Hey, Coach, up in the second row. How valuable has Brian Thomas been to the passing game this year versus like last year when sometimes it seemed like you lacked a second receiving option consistently?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, but Brian has matured to the level of in everything he's done, off the field, on the field, and you could see that maturation process in camp, accountability, reliability on the field, off the field, and kind of knew that was going to be the case this year. That he was going to be a guy that we could count on, and he had those. I think those moments, if you will, but they were inconsistent last year. We just feel like he's doing everything the right way, and because of it, it's translating on the football field. Now we have a legitimate, option there because they're clearly, leaning towards trying to put their coverage on Malik and leaving Brian in one-on-one situations, which, has been favorable in many regards.
Hey, Coach. Just obviously it's the same quarterback, same running back, new receivers for Ole Miss. Just what are any of the differences from last year's Ole Miss team offense to this year's?
Well, I would say that they're probably running the quarterback a little bit more. I mean, I think they're committed to certainly an up-tempo style offense. I think they're still very creative in terms of what they do. They're going to strike, on the perimeter with their wide receivers in their running game as well as their running backs. But now they've added the quarterback dimension, and he's very difficult to defend. He's a good runner. And when you add the quarterback, as you know, and just using, Jaden for example, the quarterback's tough to defend. You don't normally have a hat, for the quarterback. So I would say that that's a big difference. And certainly, when you have the quarterback involved, play action then, becomes a lot more viable for him. So those two things kind of stand out offensively. Defensively, it's a new system. Pete is an outstanding defensive coordinator. He's got 6 years at Alabama. He's got national championships. They've put together a new system of defense, so it's something new for us that we're looking at for the first time. But, they're fundamentally sound, and their structure is really good.
Hey, Coach. Just a couple games this season, you guys have struggled to get off the field on third down defensively. Just what have you seen in terms of just common themes there, and just how do you go about improving it, I guess, for this weekend? Yeah,
it's been a myriad of different things, and primarily, if I could break them down, they're really fundamental at their core. It's pass rush lanes. It's not being great at open field tackling, trying to go with the knockout punch instead of getting the man on the ground, coming out of coverage. It's a litany of really fundamentals that we've really had to drill down on hard this week, and really, I don't want to say not put a lot in the playbook, but quite frankly, just really get down to the basic principles of playing good, fundamentally sound defense. Because if we're in good, fundamentally sound defensive structure, we're going to get off the field in many of these third downs. So that's what we really had to focus on this week.
Hey, Coach, right here. Anyone else as of note for the injury report, or is it just Omar?
The only one, we had a little bit of a hamstring out there today with Aaron Anderson. I don't know how bad it is, so I'll have to update Saturday. But he did not finish practice, but we'll see where he's at.
Probable?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like, he wasn't rolling around on the ground in pain. So, but hamstrings are hamstring with skill players, so we'll have to see where it's at.
And for the shoes that you've been wearing before these home games, how have you liked the fit and just wearing them in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's been something from the collective bio traditions, and it's been kind of well received. I think the fan base has kind of liked it, and so we're going to keep up with my shoe game, see how it continues to move in the right direction. I think the first pair went for $9. I hope it goes up a little bit more after that. I think it went for a little bit more than that, but I didn't want to get too high on the scale for you people.
Hey, Coach. They got a great running back, Quinnshon Judkins,
Yep.
but I've noticed he hasn't really gotten going this year. So what have defenses done to contain him that you guys might use?
Well, I think they've got a couple of really good running backs. I think they're featuring a couple of backs, and it's like anything else. If you get banged up a little bit, I think he's been banged up a little bit, and they've had a good, strong running game coming from their second back, and as I mentioned earlier, they're running the quarterback. But Judkins, we're well aware of him. We knew about him last year because as a true freshman, he was outstanding. So. We're prepared for him, and we always expect the best, from the best players. So we've had his jersey on one of our players all week and expect him to play.
Coach, that's time for two more.
Hey, Coach, Ole Miss this season offensively has been one of the top teams in the country of plays of 20-plus yards. I guess what kind of things have you seen from them on film that allows them to be so successful, and how do you kind of prevent that as a defense?
Yeah, they are explosive, and that's traditionally, a Lane Kiffin offense is explosive plays. They do a really good job of setting things up. They're going to run the ball and be patient and then take shots over your head, and that's what we have to be, clearly aware of, and we were last year. We gave up that first couple of drives, and then I think we settled in nicely and keeping the ball in front of us. And that's really going to be the key for us again in this game is minimizing the big plays, being fundamentally sound defensively. And, again, a lot of it comes off of, the running game and the play action pass. So if you can eliminate the running game or at least control the running game, it puts you in a better position against the deep shots.
Right, with Mason, playing his first sustained football in over a year, do you guys have to kind of balance the amount of time it might take for him to really return to his full form, or do you just kind of how do you maybe go about approaching that with him during a season?
Well, I think he's played 13 college games, and I don't want to sound like he's not playing well, because he is. He's doing a lot of things for us. He played a lot of the nose for us earlier in the season. So he's two-gapping in the nose. It's a dirty job. And he was playing a lot of 3 and 5 technique as his freshman year. And in that 3 and 5 technique, he had a lot of opportunities to make big plays. He's not getting as many opportunities to make the kind of impact that he did as a true freshman. And he's only played in about 13 college games. So I think that we got to have a little patience, but he's doing some of the dirty work. I mean, if you really look at what he's doing, he's freeing up our linebackers. He's doing the work that he's asked to do. I think maybe we need to be a little bit more creative with him and maximize some of the things that he can do for us. And I think maybe we'll start to see that as we move through the season. Great. Thank you.